to me with stupid possibilities that make no sense and contradict the entire story. Rhaegar Targaryen secretly being Mance Rayder. Come on, seriously, who the fuck? Whatever. Anyways, back to the point. One of you sent me a Reddit article where one man basically gives a very interesting but Al Gore-ish argument as to why the White Walkers are invading Westeros. It's a far stretch, but it's worthy to look at. Now, I apologize in advance if this video is a bit short, but I'll give you a summary of what it is, then you guys can head on down in the description and check out the article for yourself. Basically, this guy takes what George Martin has stated and puts some pieces together. The others, aka the White Walkers, can't just be evil for the sake of being evil. George usually doesn't write things that way. There has to be a reason as to why they're actually coming down to invade the continent. He goes on to say that the reason the climate is so different in the Game of Thrones universe is that it has something to do with magic. So in case you're not aware, a very long time ago the humans, who were called the First Men, came to Westeros from Essos using the Arm of Dorne. The Children of the Forest, who were the first inhabitants of Westeros at the time, used their magic to break the Arm of Dorne into an archipelago called the Stepstones. This wouldn't be enough to stop the First Men, who waged a war on them until a truce was made. The Children also used their magic again to do a similar trick on the Neck, but instead their magic wasn't enough and instead turned the Neck into a swamp-like area it is today. The Neck is under the rule of House Reed, who owes their loyalty to House Stark. Now, this guy's theory is that a large amount of magic used by the Children a long time ago screwed up the climate, enough to grab attention of the White Walkers who invaded later on. When the White Walkers do invade, they bring with them a long and terrible winter called the Long Night. During this time, the winter lasted for a generation until the Children of the Forest joined forces with the First Men and drove back the White Walkers. Bran the Builder, one of the heroes from this time, built the wall to keep the others at bay. He basically is saying that the large use of magic fucks up the climate and that the planet starts to slowly warm up. The White Walkers can't go past the wall due to his magical properties to keep out magical creatures, so they're building an army from wildlings who apparently can get past the wall. Remember, if they kill these people, they can turn them into whites. And also, remember in Season 1 when the Night's Watch brings back those dead guys who come back as whites and attempt to kill Jorah Mormont? As time goes on, the White Walkers attempt to make contact, and they finally do, and are able to sway the 13th Commander in the Night's Watch. The Night's King, as he was called, supposedly took a White Walker female as his queen, and proclaimed himself king. It would take an alliance of two kings, the King Beyond the Wall at the time, and the King of the North, to take him down and stop him. The article basically says that before the showdown with his enemies, he tried to explain to them the situation with the climate. His explanation fell on deaf ears, probably didn't help because he was fucking a female White Walker. The article goes on to say that the Doom of Valyria, which was rumored to be caused by magic, added to the unusual weather patterns, which, if this is true, could explain why summer is getting longer. If you remember, in Season 2, I believe Grand Maester Pycelle states that summer is over, and that it was the longest in living memory. Once again, the article is below. I take no credit for this, unlike some other YouTubers with their theory videos, but it's an interesting thing